Psychic reading for Donald Trump. Seeing his energy coming in at a purple, red-ish color. I'm seeing an airplane. Donald Trump's on this airplane. It looks like there's family and people who may not necessarily be family, but they're basically family to him, and he's really kind of within the office space mentality of having paperwork and like as if he was working in an office space is the general energy and vibe going on here, and he's trying to organize his family within this plane. And he seems really concerned about that more than anything else. And I don't know why I'm seeing a picture of beans, as if he's thinking about cooking up some beans. And he's really just more concerned about taking care of the people around him. It doesn't look like his mind is on much more than that. Like he's not really concerned about too much beyond that. See, why is he on an airplane? It looks like him and his family or close network they're on the move. They're not settled in one area. They're ready to go, or they're kind of in transition. It doesn't look like there's any stress. Just a very simple mindset of just simply we're going to go wherever it makes sense to go, and there's no worry about it. There's a whole lot less fear and stress than I would have expected to see. And he's really concerned about the future of his family more than anything else. Him and his family. And he wants them to have comfortable seats. I'm seeing him looking out the plane and seeing people protesting. And he doesn't really care too much about what that means towards him or what his image is. He really doesn't care about his image. He really just cares about being able to provide for himself and his family, and to be able to get ahead and get the things that he feels he needs in order to secure his future and set up a future for his family. So I'm going to go ahead and look at a different picture, something new. Seeing his second chakra lighting up. It has to do with sensuality, sexuality, and emotions. I'm hearing him say, well, I don't really know so much about that. And looking down, and there's a woman talking who's, I think this is Elizabeth Warren. She's standing up, and he's hearing her, and he's kind of saying, I don't know much about that, and like putting his head down, and it's like he just kind of doesn't want to be there. It's like he just wants to slip away, like squeeze through the nooks and crannies. If he could, he would. Um, so he just wants to escape. It looks like he's trying to. Well, that's his emotional state. Is he feels like he could just like melt away and like dissolve into nothingness, and that would be comforting to get him out of the spotlight. There's a little bit of a shame emotion in here. I wouldn't say shame as much. Actually, I would replace shame with embarrassment. Um, this has to do with his how people view him. Even though the previous picture I was saying that that's not really his concern. It's not his top priority. It's not something that's really like bugging him, but it's something that he occasionally has to encounter, which does bug him, but it's not like something that's priority in his mindset. That's like just kind of a detail, one of those annoying occurrences that he just runs into every now and then. He's like, oh god, not this again. And seeing his father come up, he's telling him, don't mess this up, basically. This is like in spirit, not in body. And that kind of realigns him with his family when he hears that, because he realizes it's not even really about what everybody thinks. This is really about his own personal path life and with his family. Let's see, how does this play out? It looks like Elizabeth Warren here, kind of scolding him. Let's see, how does this end up playing out? I see him standing up and yelling, kind of, not so much yelling, but speaking loudly with his arms open to his sides as if, and he's saying, like, along the lines of how was I supposed to know of all this, or like basically as if he's being put under too much scrutiny, with as if he was supposed to somehow know something that he wouldn't have known, or like, how was I supposed to know all this, or that's the gist of what he's upset about here. And then he walks away. Let's see how this affects him. Yeah, he's really kind of running away. It makes him somewhat upset, but it's not so much that he's angry upset. It's like when somebody, what's coming up is like if somebody doesn't pass a test and they get like a bad grade on a test, and they kind of just want to throw that away and not have to worry about it, not have to deal with it. But then like people keep bringing it up, and they're like, "Oh, I saw your test score. Did you did horrible," and then it just like makes them like feel bad. It looks like that's really what's going on there. Let's see, how does this affect him? How does this affect him within the public domain in the United States? I'm saying it makes him a little less outspoken, and he's a little more humble, and it's like he wants to kind of curl up into a ball, and so he's becoming less extreme on some level. It's not that his views change, it's just that his expression of his views are a little more introverted. So I'm gonna see more like, how does he, what's his role within being president of the United States? So I'm seeing what looks like a circus. He's walking around with two children. These look like his I think he has two sons. Could be wrong. I really don't know too much about him. But I'm seeing them as children, even though I think they're grown up. But I'm seeing them as children, so that's more symbolic, or maybe from the past. But it's like he's got cotton candy, and he's, you know, taking good care of them. And he's in this circus area, or he's walking around. Let's see, what does this have to do with the United States? So when I ask that, I see explosions going off, and people are clapping and cheering, but then there's also this sense of fright within some people, where to some people it's good, and to other people it's not a good situation. And I see him just really kind of walking by and not really even paying attention, and not really interested in what's going on. He's just really satisfied because he's able to provide to his children, um, this sense of satisfaction from this cotton candy. Um, let's see, how does this play out within the United States? I think something about a jet. I think it would be a jet flying and bombing some area. Um, and he's just pointing his kids to go to school, is how I'm seeing it. And this represents pushing his children to the top of the pyramid, so to speak. Um, and it's like this is going on in the economy, or the world economy, or just in the world, and it doesn't really matter because he's just concerned about his making his children go to the top of the ladder. Um, let's see, what is this about? It's almost like he's disengaged with what's even going on. Like he doesn't even really, like he's just going along with the plan that's already in place as far as bombing this other country, which could be literal or more symbolic of what's going on. and he's not really trying to change anything. He's just kind of just like, oh yeah, okay, the military has this has been doing this plan, and so let's keep doing it. It's the American way or whatever. Um, he really doesn't have too much say in that, except that he supports that movement and patriotism and whatever it is that the experts in that field say, he goes along with. That would obviously be the military complex. And he just kind of views it as they know better than he does. So he's not really trying to dictate what's going on within the political schemes of the military. But I do see him listening and becoming concerned when something becomes a public situation where the public would be involved knowing about it, or it would be something on the newspaper or a big deal. Um, and I'm seeing him looking down at the like paper, like trying to figure out what he represents as a president and what the people he has chosen to help him in the president in the government are saying, and kind of collaborating with that whole movement of, you know, patriotic, I guess you could say, Republican conservative thought, and just really choosing that and just seeing what everybody says. So basically, it seems like there's a lot of collaboration. It's not like he's the one making the calls himself. He's making the calls in the sense that he's chosen which type of school of thought to follow. But that's the only thing that he's chosen. Everything else is a collaboration of the people within that. So let's see, what does this mean for the future? Just seeing what it looks like. Not so much war, but it is war scenes. It could be war. But I'm seeing some sort of military agenda being played out, and him just escorting his family to a church, which represents safety, and just really being concerned about that. Just like kind of going along with the written protocol that's already in place. But he has like the inside information about how it's going to go, so he's got his plan all set up for his safety within it. So what does this mean for the United States public? See that by the time the United States public speaks up again, speaks up about it, he's gone already. He's kind of like gone into hiding. It's like he's already got everything set up like his plan is all set in place, so that by the time people speak up, it's like it doesn't even matter to him. It doesn't really affect him. It's like he's got this whole thing planned out already. Like secret underground tunnels. I don't know if that's literal or not. Um, I'm gonna see what. What am I gonna see? I'm gonna see how he's gonna affect the United States in this context. So he's gonna push the button on some sort of action going on, global action around the world. But it's all set in place already, not by him, but he's the one who's going to push the button, and everyone will, of course, it'll be all blamed on him, which it is partly on him, but it will be seen as if it was all his plan, but he's just the one supporting it. Let's see, what is this plan? It looks like foreign policy and what seems to be the Middle East, maybe Syria. I just see lots of jets, or if those are jets, just fighter planes, like bombing places. Not really seeing this having to do with the economy. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this reading.